What's up YouTube? So in this video, I'm talking to my friend Chris DeLucia, and Chris has an extremely interesting story when it comes to selling on Amazon. He reached $100,000 a month in sales within his first year. So there's a lot to learn from this guy. And in this interview, you'll hear how he picked his products, how he knew they were going to be winners, mistakes that he's made, what he's doing from here to grow. And I met Chris before we ever started selling on Amazon, and I've witnessed this entire journey. He is also a member of my Zero to Brand program, and it's just been crazy to see his success. And let's just get into the interview with Chris. But first, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell, and leave comments on this video. You can also check out the links in the description to get in touch with Chris if you do have any questions. Now into the interview. Chris, what's up? Welcome to the channel.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing pretty well with this whole quarantine situation.
Yeah, it seems like a perfect time to hop on here. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, for sure. So let's start with just a quick little backstory. Like, what were you doing kind of pre-Amazon? What got you interested in all this?
Well, let's see. Before Amazon, I have a little bit of a past trying to sell stuff online. I was on eBay, actually, kind of similar to your story. So yeah. I was initially started selling on eBay, I would say about a year before I really got started on Amazon. And I was selling vape products like e-cigarette mods on eBay. And that worked for about 2 months. And I actually found quite a bit of success with that. I think I did like a little over $20,000 in my first month on eBay. Selling just like the mods, and I was running into a couple problems. I mean, selling electronics, I'm sure you know, is pretty rough, and the returns were pretty high, the things breaking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of really where it opened my eyes to like, hey, this is like a viable option to sell things online and make some money. Yeah. So once that went downhill, it actually lasted about 2 months, and then I got banned off of eBay because you're not supposed to sell those on eBay. You're supposed to be over 18, and you know what I mean, anything like that, they eventually ban you. But
classic.
It lasted long enough for you to get a taste of that success and be like, hey, this can actually work.
Yeah, that's incredibly similar to my story. I also was selling some electronics. I was also doing eBay and same sort of thing. So people have heard sort of my transition. So how long ago did you switch and start on Amazon, and what's like a general sense of where you're at today, like revenue, products, number of products, things like that? Like, where are you at?
Yeah, so I've been selling on Amazon for, I think it's exactly a year and a half right now. So I think it's like a year and 6 months. And I have, let me see how many products do I have. So I have a lot of variations. So I have a lot of SKUs. Each product has like either 4 or 5 different variations. So I would say, I think 1, 2, like 6 or 7 products, maybe 20 something SKUs with all the colors. Okay. Mainly, I would say 2 of my SKUs are really the breadwinners right there. And then the rest of them are kind of, still new or making, a little bit to some money.
Yeah. And are they all related, or are some of them related and some of them under different brands? Like, how is that sort of layout?
So one brand, all related to the same first product.
Okay, cool. And what sort of numbers are you up to, or as much as you're comfortable in sharing?
Yeah. Ever since, like I said, I've been selling for about a year and a half. Ever since of June of last year, I think it was June when I hit the first 100K month. Dang. And been averaging 100K every month since then, until recently. It's kind of with this virus going on, there was a little bit of decline for that 1 week where everyone was in a panic, and everyone was going anywhere. Everyone was just buying toilet paper and household
products.
Yeah. Once that like 1 week passed, sales have been actually really good. And now I'm doing about 40K a week right now.
Wow. So continuing to rise. So that's like 120K a month pace, and you've been at 100K since last June. Wow. So you got to 100K in less than 12 months. Am I doing the math there right?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Less than 12 months to 100K. And realistically, it's been 2 weeks like this since this virus has happened, and I've been doing 40K a week. So really, if I kind of stay on where we're at right now, I might do like 170K in the 30 days after the virus.
That's wild. So do you think, I want to talk about this like zoomed out, but also like kind of with the current situation, because, people might watch this months from now, I don't know. But so are you actually seeing an increase because of the situation, or is it just that you rebounded to where you were? You know what I mean?
So no, with the virus happening, I probably luckily didn't get affected too much for that week or week and a half where everyone was really panicking. I saw probably like a 30% decrease and then after that, since then, it's been about 2 weeks now, maybe a little bit more. I've seen, saying go back to the normal 100K a month, I've seen, like a 50, 60, 70% increase in that. You know what I mean? Like I'm averaging 100K a month since last June. And if I kind of stay on pace to where we are the last 2 weeks, I'll probably do 160, 170 tomorrow.
That's amazing. Wow. Congrats. That's crazy. I mean, it's one thing to, achieve the $1 million run rate, but now you're like well on your way to potentially hitting the next milestone. So dang.
Yeah.
Wow.
It just further sets in stone, like, hey, people are getting laid off. So many people are losing their jobs. And just to see that, this is something that is recession proof if you have the right product. And obviously when people can't leave the house and they're stuck at home, they're going to be buying stuff online.
Yeah, it sounds like you definitely hit it with that one. And I want to get into like how you landed on this product. But also just to dig into the numbers a little bit, and feel free to not want to answer this one, but profit margins, because everyone's going to ask. Obviously they vary a ton, but like, can we get like a sort of ballpark, like how do you think about it? Like pre-PPC or just net bottom of the line? But
believe it or not, I don't run any PPC on my main 2 products.
Whoa.
So 2 products that are making the most sales don't have any PPC running whatsoever. And The other products that are still, I'd say, new, even though they're maybe 6 months old, sub 100 reviews, running PPC on the rest of them. And even with that and everything, I'd say the profit margins every month are between 25 and 30%.
Super healthy. That's good. A lot of people hear 40, 50% and stuff like that, but they don't understand like all the costs that go into it. So being at 25, 30 at the end of the day is like extremely healthy want to make sure people realize that. Yeah.
And it's definitely healthy to, start with a 40%, profit margin, because there's a lot of things that, I didn't think of when I first got into that you very quickly find out, and, things like storage fees and PPC and returns. So, a little bit more about my product is that I'm in like the oversized space. So my product's not small. And the returns definitely make a huge dent into my income every month. So just the cost for the product's a little bit higher, and the shipping's a little bit higher. So and the return, just the niche that I'm in, just the way it is, the returns are a little bit high as it is, and that's just kind of normal. So it's a big loss every month with returns.
So maybe to get into the weeds on that for just a second, but how are you handling that? Because you have this unique situation of a more expensive product, a larger product, which I always talk about, like, kind of the more hurdles, like the better. I think there's obviously massive opportunities in those types of products, which you're living proof of. So how are you handling that? Like, do you take them back to some other warehouse? Do you liquidate them? Like, what are you doing with them?
Well, yeah, I do actually take them back. So I'd say 50% of them are unusable, and I actually take them back personally and reuse them. So send them back in if they are something that can be used again. And even at times, if I have to repackage them and make them new again and send them back in. Okay,
cool. So it offsets some of the loss at least, but it sounds like you've got plenty of profit on your hands either way. One thing I definitely want to get into is, where so many people are stuck constantly, as I'm sure everyone who listens to my channel has heard a million times, picking the right product. And clearly you hit some winners with those first 2 and now building it out even from there. What were kind of the markers that you looked at that when you found this product, you felt confident in pulling the trigger on it? Like, how did you know that you were, obviously you didn't know 100%, but what made you so confident enough to give that product a go?
Well, there was quite a few boxes that it checked, and also just the product research part in the beginning. I was months and months and months. I want to say I was like 3 months of looking for my first product. And this was the third one that I actually got samples on, and I went forward with. So the first two, I ended up getting samples, and then the market kind of changed, and I kind of thought by the time I could get into it, I already saw, the writing on the wall, what was going to happen with them. So after 3 or even maybe 4 months it was of looking at products, third one that I actually got samples from is when I finally decided to move forward. And I think one of the big things was just seeing the massive sales volume on the entire first page, and not seeing some big sellers that are selling a lot, say 4 listings on the top of the page, and then the rest of it are getting very, very low sales. It's like, it's not good to look at that and think like, oh, I could be one of those 4, when realistically there's 40 other people on the first page that aren't doing well. Another thing that I like to do when looking at potential new products is looking on the second page. I love looking on the second page because if you see people doing fairly decent on the second page, it's just even more of a reason to feel like it's going to be a successful product.
Yeah, 100%. That's like something I talk about a ton. The market depth, the market size versus the competition. I think that's the most nuanced, most important piece of product research, really, because you can find a product that looks good in any way, but if the balance isn't there, then it doesn't work. So that's super key. Was there anything else kind of just unique to that product situation other than the numbers, like other than kind of that balance? Was there anything else that made you particularly confident in it?
Well, the fact that I could differentiate and make the product better. So really digging into the negative reviews on all the products that are being sold on that first page and seeing what people are complaining about. And I found, there's a way I can make it better, a lot more quality, and also sell a premium product. So this might be kind of a surprise as well, because the numbers are so well in my first products, is that I'm in some cases double the price of competitors on that page.
Wow. So that's super solid. I mean, I love to hear that, because that's definitely something that I always think people should try to do. And sometimes it's tough, sometimes you can't really prove your value there. You can't just have the same product and double the price. It's not really going to work, but it sounds like you have successfully created the whole value package, like figured out how to position your product that it actually is worth it, and just seems like the clear choice, especially with no PPC and just ranking up. I mean, this one's wild. I mean, that is seriously impressive. That's crazy.
I mean, also, another thing is like when looking for a new product, the reviews, I feel like I just hate seeing, I haven't really been into the YouTube space too much on new people coming out with how to find new products. It's been, a year and a half or even 2 years at this point. But I just hate that people have that same criteria of like, try to find something with under 100 reviews for an average. And really that's very, very hard to do. And I just want to say that don't be scared if some of the products that are selling really well in that niche that you want have 200, 300, 400 reviews. I mean, unless they don't have 5, 6, 7,000, I feel like it's something that if you can bring as much value to the customer, if you can differentiate and bring something that's better quality, you can compete with them. I mean, there's so many other competitors in there that have, at this point in my niche, a year and a half later, that have well over thousands of reviews. And even where I'm at right now, one of my products don't have over 1,000 reviews, and I'm still really, really competing with them.
For sure, yeah. I always think, if a product with 10 reviews can compete with a product with 100 reviews all day, if it actually has some other value prop there. The only place that I think people fall into a trap is if the only successful competitors are the ones that have thousands of reviews, and there's no examples of anybody succeeding that have lesser, then maybe it's a particular product where it's extra important. But yeah, no, for the most part, I think people overvalue the actual number of reviews. So that's awesome.
And using the tools that we have, I use Helium 10, and you're able to see kind of when that seller started. The history is so important over just seeing a monthly revenue. This person has 74 reviews and has sells X amount per month. You can actually see wow, this guy has 70 reviews and sells this much, and he started 2 months ago.
Exactly.
It's very, very valuable information.
Yeah, and when you see something like that, then you have proof that they're proving the concept of what you're about to do. It's not just, these big mammoth competitors that have been there forever, but you see, this guy got in, and if he did it, then I can do this, this, and this a little bit better. And then why why in the world could you not take a piece of that? Like those are the types of things that give you more and more confidence in actually choosing that product, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So another question I have for you is like a lot of people don't succeed to your level on Amazon. That's just an honest truth. What do you think that other people are messing up a lot that you have done well?
I feel like it's just starting. It's just gonna like everyone's like, oh, work, just start. But honestly, it's that product research. And if you don't find the right niche and you don't find the right product, you can do a whole ton of work and money into something, months and months of work, when you really shouldn't even have started. So, I mean, it's the very, very anxious move to want to start and want to get that product in and want to start selling. But it's really, really finding the right product to start with, especially if you're on a tight budget, before you waste a bunch of time. 3-4 months you're in and you're kind of finding out it doesn't really work, and then you kind of have to restart. But then again, you can also look at it the flip side, and I can say a bunch of positive things about doing that, is because now your second product is going to be so much easier. Now you know the shipping process, how to get it in there and how to get it to rank, and how you're going to get your photos and how you're going to do keyword research. And it's like, yes, it is to start, but just be careful with what what product you are starting with.
Totally. Like, obviously it's great to hit it out of the park with your first and second products the way that you did, but I see that as an extremely common story, that the later products are the ones that really end up taking off, or even starting the second brand, because you have so much more experience every single time you go at it. I think it can be discouraging to not have a winner your first time, for sure, but I think it probably would just solidify that importance of really checking all of the not criteria, in the way that you and I both think are stupid, but just checking all the boxes, and is this the right product to really move forward for. I mean, I agree. I think it's 100% still the most important part of this whole thing. And a lot just happens naturally when you find the right product, which is, yours is a great example of that. I mean, not even having to struggle with PPC, that's crazy. I mean, there's probably a lot of opportunity there. I'd be curious to maybe dig into that and see, like, could we push it even further with PPC, or, but that is wild. It's like you just found that momentum and things just happened, right?
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, I spent a lot of money on PPC, and that really that ball rolling. It was like a solid, I would say, 7 or 8 months of heavy spending on PPC. 6 months of like really not making much money because I was spending so much on advertising.
Oh wow, yeah.
I mean, like it was just like breaking even for a couple months and then making a little bit of money for the the few months after that. And it was I was spending over $150, $200 a day on PPC.
But do you see that as a key reason you got the organic sales you're continuing to get, or do you think it was other things that led to your organic rankings?
I think it was what really let me hit the ground running, what I mean, with getting the ranking. Yeah. Because if you look at the same niche that I'm in, it was, send me a new booming niche, something that's going to be around for a long time, but as far as on Amazon was new, and I kind of saw that. And, if I were to do the same thing now as I did a year and a half ago, it would be a lot harder.
I mean, the longer you're now in it, the more defensible your business is, and the more you can leverage this into building out this brand or whatever, this product line, and more variations, wherever you go, which is something we'll get to at the end. I want to definitely know like your future plans, but one thing before that is what was, because obviously like you seem like you are, and from the outside it seems like you've just hit it out of the park, and you have. But what is something that like went wrong? What was a big mistake that caught you off guard, something you had to seriously like get back on track with?
I'd say is kind of circling back on what I talked about before, is with the products, it's really taking your time to do product research. I would say it was, so I did my first product and it did well. It was in my eyes a success. And then I did my second product very, very soon after that, and it was actually better than the first. So my second product was now my top one, and I hit it out of the park. It was doing, double the sales of my first one. So I was like, wow, I'm on a roll. You know what I mean? I got, my head's big now. I got all this confidence. I'm going to go right into product 3. And like I said, searching for these products took me 3 to 4 months. and looking at a bunch of different options before I actually did it. So
Yeah.
now I was on product 3. I had 2 successful products. I was like, what's next? Let me just find something in that niche. Let me grab it. I used the first supplier. I got samples. I started selling it, and that's probably my worst product that I've done.
Got it.
And
So you
still have stuff in stock. It's I'm barely breaking even on it realistically, and it's just, and still, even after the success I had with the first 2 products, it was extremely discouraging. Like all of that failure from that third product, it was like masking all of the happiness that I was getting from the first 2 that were so successful. So it's tough, and you're never going to hit a home run unless you're swinging. And I can't imagine how hard it is for people to have my third product be their first. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And I think a lot of people do get stuck there, but they need to find what your first and second were, and maybe they rushed into it the way you did with your third with their first, because they're so excited. And I understand that, but taking the time to really make the best decisions that you can is just so key. And it won't always hit the first time, but yeah, I mean, it sounds like the mistake was just thinking you had like the magic touch after the first 2. And that was probably a really important lesson, because now from then on, you're probably back to very careful considerations before just pulling the trigger on every product that you find.
Going back to why were these successful? It's because I really, really took the time to look at it. And, read the numbers. Don't look at the numbers that you want to see. Read the real numbers, and it's even gets to the point where you start having some success in my case. And I was looking at it and I'm like, you know what? Well, it's my brand, and other people are going to looking at other stuff that I sell. So I'll probably sell more because of that. And it really just didn't happen.
Yeah. I mean, it does happen. I mean, I've got plenty of duds as well. It definitely happens, and not everyone has to be the same level of out of the park home run, but builds out that portfolio. Maybe it takes off later, maybe it doesn't. But you just keep adding more. So where do you go from here? Are you expanding this brand? Are you considering other brands? Are you adding more and more variations and SKUs? Or maybe taking this product to wholesale, to retailers? What is kind of your game plan over, say, the next 12 months or more?
Well, right now I'm actually selling. I don't sell a ton, but it's really getting it out in every, not just Amazon. So as far as I have my own site, I do, I have social running. It's pretty often that I post every couple days on Facebook and Instagram, start running ads on there as well. I don't get a ton of sales on the site at all, but I'm not really pushing that so much. But also just gaining some information. People that are engaging on the social, I can always have that in my back pocket. But it's really getting these products on other sites. I have stuff on eBay. I sell some sales there. Believe it or not, I'm looking into starting to sell on Walmart as well.
Nice,
so it's something different. And I mean, not to give too much about my product, but there is other websites that are selling very, very well in my niche. So it's just me starting to get onto, say, 5 other sites that are selling.
Yeah.
Other than Amazon.
No, that part absolutely sounds awesome. And are you also launching more on Amazon at the same time? Where is your focus split between expanding the current versus adding?
So it's kind of happening at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm adding, I literally just launched. I have 2 new products that are coming out as we speak this week. And, I'm working on just, getting reviews and, just got the images done, just got that up, literally just made the listing out today on one of them. So it's doing that, and then also spreading the successful products into other avenues of being able to be sold, and also adding variations. So I have 4 or 5 variations in all of them right now, but I didn't always have that. For the first few months, I had it was really just one color and one variation, and then when I expanded to have those 4 or 5, my business almost doubled. So it's really, really important. It's cool to just say, if you want to test a product and start out, and make it simple, go ahead and do that. If you find some success, the variations, in my case, made a huge difference.
Yeah. No, that's very similar to my path. Going from low 6 into the 7 was just the rinse and repeat. The add more variations. Copy yourself. So that there's still probably huge opportunities for you just in that, and don't go too far away from what got you here at the same time. But with that, you also have to go into these new strategies as well. But yeah, man, overall, I'm like super pumped for you. I remember we met like at an Amazon meetup before you were selling, and this is, you're one of my favorite success stories that I've seen go the whole way. So congrats, and I'm super impressed and happy for you.
Yeah, I remember that was a couple months after I got shut down on eBay when we met.
So you probably weren't feeling too great at the time.
No, that was a fun time, but that's when it all started.
Yeah, it's really been wild to see, and I've seen updates all along the way, so it's just really great to see, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks.
Well, yeah, thanks for coming on, and I'm sure you're inspiring a ton of people. So one thing I should ask you maybe before, but if people want to maybe ask you a question, is there anywhere people could reach you, or you want to stay off the map?
No, that's totally fine. I've had people in the past when you've done, some sort of shout outs and stuff like that on updates of mine. I don't mind people reaching out and asking questions. You know what I mean? I'll definitely respond. I'm sure Matt can link up my Instagram.
Cool.
And maybe even my YouTube. If you guys are car guys, you can go on my YouTube channel. That what I've been saying that I've been trying to start for the last 2 years, and I swear I'm going to do it eventually. But if you're a car guy, go ahead and check that out as well.
Yeah, you got to do it. And yeah, I'll make sure that Instagram and everything popped up on the screen, and the description will have links to Instagram and that car YouTube channel. So yeah, man, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Speak to you soon.
Cool. All right. So I hope you learned something from Chris's story. Definitely just a super mind-blowing experience for me to witness this whole thing from absolute start to finish. So hope you got a lot of value out of this. Please do leave comments, smash the like button. If you're interested in joining Zero to Brand, which Chris is a member of and followed and really did it to a T, as you can hear from his story, then you can check that out in the description below as well. That's at zerotobrandcourse.com. There's also a free training you can start with if you want to start with that first. And you can also see those links mentioned in the description, Chris's Instagram, so you could reach out to him, as well as his car YouTube channel. Go give him a huge subscribe. I definitely will be checking it out and encouraging him to keep on posting. And yeah, I hope you got a lot of value out of this video. Feel free to follow me on Instagram as well, at Matt Loberstein. And yeah, take care in these crazy times, and see you soon.